I think there's going to be probably two big camps of opposition, and one is going to be the quote identity politics stuff, where we talk about her as a Latina and that she's a woman, and that this empathy thing where she can't possibly be fair because she's too Latina and too woman. That'll be brought up in the conversation about her Wise Latina Woman speech. It's going to come up talking about the Ritchie case, the New Haven firefighters case, where ostensibly she couldn't help a white guy to save her life. So there's going to be a lot of that. And then I think it's also important to remember that when we talk about judges, this is senators talking to their base. And so we're going to talk, even though her record doesn't reflect anything to be anxious about, we're going to talk about guns, we're going to talk about abortion, we're going to talk about gay marriage, we're going to talk about all these issues because this is a way to telegraph to the base, we got your backs, and we're going to make sure she's good on our issues. So, like I say, her record doesn't give any reason to believe, 18 years on the bench, no reason to believe that those are flashpoints that one should worry about, but we're going to talk about them anyway. There's going to be a retreat from the Tancredo KKK thing, right? It's not going to be as insane and unhinged as those first couple of days because we saw the blowback. You know, the Hispanic support for the party plummeted. I don't know if there's that many more Hispanics to lose, but I don't think you're going to see them go after her that way. But I do think it's going to be framed in a way that has to do with she can't be fair. I wouldn't want to be a plaintiff in front of her if I were a white guy. So that's how it's going to come out. That's why I think the Ritchie case is so important, because it's this reverse discrimination stuff is a way of talking about can she be fair to white guys rather than is it bad that she's Hispanic. I think that if you look at her record, she's going to be very close to David Souter, who she's replacing. She's pretty minimalist, she's pretty careful, she's very, very devoted to precedent and stare decisis. I don't think she is a liberal Nino Scalia, if that's what progressives are hoping for. That's not her, at least that hasn't been her for 18 years. She's careful, she's moderate. I don't think she has a really grand, unifying jurisprudential vision a la William Brennan or Thurgood Marshall. So I think she's going to be a good liberal moderate. I think the interesting question there is what she brings to the court that's different from Souter. And I think that this Wise Latina Woman is actually going to be very, very useful, because I think what she's going to bring to the court is a breadth of experience, diversity, a range of background that this court hasn't seen before. And just the quick example I always give to sort of illuminate that point is there was a case I remember hearing oral argument several years ago where the justices were trying to decide about the right of privacy in your bag that was in the overhead bin in a Greyhound bus. And all the justices were talking about what reasonable expectation of privacy you would have on a Greyhound bus. And I remember thinking, not one of these people has ever been on a Greyhound bus. They couldn't find the Greyhound bus station at Knife Point. I mean, they don't have that life. She's been on the Greyhound. She's had a life that is really dramatically different from what most of the justices have had, even though she's got the same Ivy League degree and the same judicial experience. I think she brings to the bench something that is much closer to what's happening on the ground in America. And I think that her ability to relate that during argument and during conference is going to be pretty profound.